There is power in personal stories. It connects us, it empowers us, and it holds us accountable. It creates understanding and expands our perspective. This is Big in the Community with Jonathan James at the Kalamazoo Promise, a podcast aimed to highlight local leaders, collaborators, and innovators in the greater Kalamazoo community. All right, welcome back to another episode. I'm excited for this one. Of Big in the Community. We are here with an amazing guest, Rachael Tiesenga, Director of Workforce and Leadership Development at Southwest Michigan First. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
Me too. I'm so excited. I skipped the quote because we're supposed to do a quote. So I'm going to go back. Dr. John would do that. I'm sorry. I'm unserious. Okay. I'm locked in. Leadership is not about being in charge. It's about taking care of those you're in charge. In your charge. In your charge. I got it. I'm still locked in. And that's Simon Sinek. Start with why. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, okay. It's a decent quote.
Great quote.
Okay. We're going to jump into the first question.
Okay.
You ready? Okay. I'm so excited. All right. What'd you say? I know. Name right. Didn't stumble. Just had to get a little practice with.
Say it with confidence.
Yes. Just say it with confidence. Okay. Oh, also, I want to introduce myself as Jonathan James. And my 5 top strengths are belief, connectedness, developer, individualization, and positivity. I brought a prop for this episode because I'm so excited. All right. So this is about you. All right. So how long have you been with Southwest Michigan First, and what led you to your current role?
So I've been with Southwest Michigan First for 5.5 years, and I always jokingly say I got in my role by accident. But I mean, I don't really believe in accidents, so there's like that weird space. But I started as the executive assistant in January of 2020.
Okay.
And so I was like, rolling for 3 months, and then we were sent home. And it was kind of this like weird executive assistant operations type role once we got sent home for the pandemic. And then 9 months later, I had my first kid. So then I went on a maternity leave.
Oh, man.
And during that time, this current CEO left. And so I remember Carla Stone's calling me and being like, hey, this is what just happened. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have a newborn baby. It's about Christmas time, and I'm about to lose my job. And she was like, we don't want you to leave. Like, we're going to figure it out. We're in a weird time, And I was like, oh, thank you. I was excited. I wanted to stay with Southwest Michigan First. I liked my role. And so, after the new year, I came back from my maternity leave, and I was in that still like office assistant. I was doing like team engagement. I was like leading origami folding on Zoom and like sending people stuff they needed, and like helping produce the podcast that we had at that time. And by produce, I mean like I would do the write up and like post it. I wasn't doing any of the podcasting part. And I just, liked our team a lot. Felt like we had a really cool group of people. And so I was excited to stay on. And then probably a 1.5-ish later, the events role opened up. And so I moved into that. And we didn't know what events were going to look like at that time. Like, are they going to come back? Are they not? And so, I moved into the events role, and it quickly became like people were just craving being together. And so I was in that role for a while. And part of that was doing the logistics for Leadership Greater Kalamazoo and other leadership programming contracts and stuff we were doing. And so I just got to see like the process of all of that. And so worked really closely with Gretchen Slank at that time. And, she's just an incredible leader, incredible at leadership programming, and just like really fell in love with all of that and just like getting to see what she was doing. And so kind of started to move more into that space. And then that role opened up, and I moved in with it. So I've been working with Carla Stones in that space, which like I just feel like so blessed by the people I've gotten to learn from, like Gretchen Slank, Carla Sones. I work more with Clarence, and gosh, I just like feel so built up to be in the space of leadership programming and workforce development. So that's where I'm at now, and having a blast. Having a blast.
It seems like it.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed like working with you, learning from you, especially in leadership, Greater Kalamazoo. Best class ever, 2024. Just going to throw that out there. Until someone else dethrones us, we are the reigning champs. I'm gonna say that.
I never enter into the conversation, but there is a conversation happening.
Oh, there's a conversation. Oh, gosh.
Every time we get together, someone's like, no, it was us.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. There was, somebody said we had a pool party. And then, like, afterwards, I was like, okay, and?
What else?
But what did you do? Anyway, yeah, I know. Shots fired at random classes. I don't even remember what class it was. Sorry. Okay.
I would say too, all of the classes take on different personalities, and all of those are unique, and they're all really great. And then the way that a class combines together, it's just like it's different every year, and it's so great every year. And it's hard. I would never pick a favorite kid, right?
Right.
You have a favorite kid for like that certain thing, right? Like my oldest, like reading a book with him, unmatched. My daughter, like dancing with her, unmatched. Snuggling with my baby, unmatched, right? So it's like you have favorites for things, but you couldn't pick a favorite.
Okay. This could get deep.
You're like, I don't like that. Pick a favorite. Stop with that nonsense.
Okay. We'll come back to Leadership Kalamazoo. But still, this is about you. So could you share your academic/career journey and what experiences and influences shaped your path to leadership and workforce development?
Yeah. I would say my academic journey started at a wee age of like 5. And I was positive that I was going to buy the field behind my parents' house and turn it into a hospital. I was going to call it Candy Care, because I was going to give candy to the kids that came through and got care, obviously. And so that like really started this path of like medicine. I really wanted to be a doctor. And then when I got into high school, I was like, I'm going to be a surgeon. I'm going to be a reconstructive surgeon for the Detroit sports teams. I was like, Chauncey Billups, I'm coming for your knees. And I, went to the University of Michigan. I was pre-med. I was doing it all. I started to shadow people. And I found out that being a surgeon was 13 more years of schooling. And at this point, I was like, man, school's for the birds. Like, this is not for me. I don't love just, like, sitting and learning. I had other friends who were pre-med, and they would be like, oh, isn't this biochemical process so cool? I'm like, literally no. Yes, and, like, I could have done without knowing this. And so then I kind of shifted, and I was like, okay, I'll be a PA. So it was still that pre-med route, and shadowing a lot of PAs at the time. I decided to become a phlebotomist. And so my degree at the University of Michigan was biopsychology, cognition, neuroscience. And then I minored in medical anthropology and graduated great. And like, what I thought at the time was like, you can't do anything with this degree unless you go further. And so I applied to PA school, and I actually didn't get in, which at the time was, super just like, what on earth do I do now? Finding out now that like every PA school gets like 2,000 applicants for like a class of 30. And so most people have to try multiple times. But at that time I was like, I'm not doing this again. And so I decided that, I didn't think that medicine was right for me anymore. The reason why I wanted to be a doctor is because I cared so much about people. But it seemed like the way we did medicine was like, you have 15 minutes to like, see someone and get them out, and that just like didn't sit well with me. And so that's actually when I decided to become the executive, or apply to be the executive assistant here at Southwest Michigan First. So that was my first job out of the medical field. And now I'm in this space where I'm doing workforce and leadership, and neuroscience is like the perfect degree, I feel like. This behavioral neuroscience is really what it boiled down to, like fight or flight or freeze. Like, that's all like brain processes, or like amygdala hijacks. Like, those are all things that I was studying in school that I thought I would never have to come back to. And like, we have a session of First Step tomorrow, and like there's a good chunk in there when we talk about neuroscience, like what's happening when you have a hard conversation in your brain. Like your brain is like firing in ways that are trying to protect you, and like how do you listen to those and turn them off? And feel really grateful for my academic space, but for a hot second there, I was like, man, I messed up. I wish I could go back and do something else. But now I feel really grateful.
No, that's good stuff. I mean, like I did pre-med because I was like, I'm going to be a doctor. And then it just did not go that way. I don't need to talk about it again. But it's, you do learn a lot of stuff that you don't realize can be applied to other things. And like when I was sitting in Leadership Kalamazoo and learning about, oh, this is why if I'm sitting in a mediated meeting between my supervisor and my other supervisor, and I'm like, oh gosh, and my hand starts to, twitch a little bit, or I keep coughing and I can't like just get through my words, then like it's because there's a physical response going on.
Yes, your body's like where you need to protect you. It's just a conversation, but
learning how to respond.
Yeah.
Like, okay, take a deep breath. I'm short on oxygen. Like I just need to calm down for a second.
Stress is telling me to hide, but I got to be here. So
and keep having this conversation with this person that I might be upset with.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
It's deep. There's so many things that it affects. But next question. As a leader of Leadership Kalamazoo, what does this program mean to you personally and professionally?
Oh, that's such a hard question. I get to do it alongside Carla, and I don't know how much I can say, like how grateful I am for that. I love learning from her. I love being able to brainstorm with her. I feel like we have a really great partnership in that way. And, for me personally, my personal mission statement is using everything that I have to help others be more of who they were made to be. And I get to do that in my job, which like, I feel a lot like, I feel like that's 50-50. You either like do a job so you can like afford to do your mission outside of work, or you do a job that aligns with your mission. Yeah. I can't believe my job gets to align with my mission. That's pretty wild. And so I feel like, especially, Leadership Greater Kalamazoo, you're taking leaders who have people under them, and you're helping them to realize who are they as a unique leader, and how do they lead the people underneath them best. We know so many people leave their jobs and have terrible experiences because of their boss. And so if we can, train up good bosses, gosh, the domino effect from that is wild. And so, gosh, I mean, I feel really, really grateful to be able to be in a space where we're like helping people be more of who they were made to be. Because you don't need to fit the mold of whatever leader you think you need to. You need to lead how you were made to lead. That's wild.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff. You answered the next question.
Oh,
which is like, what is Leadership Kalamazoo? What's its mission? Do you want to add anything?
That's a good question too. Yeah, I mean, Leadership Greater Kalamazoo we run it on that model of know, grow, go. Know yourself and your community, grow in that space, and now have a go strategy for it, right? And so we really believe that leadership is a verb. And if you don't have tools to actually go put your leadership in action, it's a waste of time. We can't just know all the things to do and not do them, right? We all know leaders who say that they do a certain way, but their actions don't match that. And that's always so disappointing. And so if your actions can match who you want to be, that's where the magic happens. You have to be able to move in that space.
What do you believe makes Leadership Greater Kalamazoo unique compared to other leadership development programs?
Yeah, I think Leadership Greater Kalamazoo puts you in a space where you're with other leaders kind of on the same journey. And I think that's the uniqueness of it. You're with other leaders who care about who they're becoming, right? My husband, Mike, and I talk about that a lot. Like this process of becoming is really important.
Shout outs to Mike.
Shout outs to Mike. He's the best, truly. The beginning is really fun. You get to start. The end, you get to succeed. But it's that middle that's really hard. And now you have, our class size right now is 48. You have 47 other leaders who are in the process with you. That's unique, right? And there's other things, like if you take a class that's like, self-led and you're going through the materials yourself, you see that a lot. You can take like leadership courses through universities. Those are valuable for sure. But that verbal process and hearing other unique perspectives of how they're hearing something, nothing makes you grow more than having an opinion on something, hearing someone else's opinion on it, and it being completely different than yours. And then you have to be like, okay, how could there be a different opinion on that? And going through that process, it either changes your opinion or it solidifies your opinion, right? And we need that as people. We were made to be with other people. And so you need that process of doing it with other people.
It's good stuff. I just remember that there were multiple times where you had us do something where like we had to pick one side or the other. And some people landed in the middle, and it started with like silly stuff like what, tacos or pizza. And what'd you say? Oh yeah. Some people stood in the middle. I think I stood in the middle for some of them. Not for tacos and pizza. I picked tacos.
Oh, I was like, oh. Are we about to fight?
There is a wrong answer. Just one or the other. I mean, there's taco pizza, but that's just it's not the same. Can you share any success stories or impactful moments from past participants in the program without, I don't know, don't say who.
Yeah.
What is it, HIPAA? I don't know.
Confidentiality. Yeah, I feel like there's so many success stories. I feel like if you come in with a growth mindset, you're going to grow, right? And that's really important. Little things like little realizations, that's just as important, right? So I have not a short list of success stories, but two that come to mind is, a couple of years ago, we had a woman who she knew she needed to have a couple surgeries, and she really needed to get her health in check to be able to do those. And through some sessions, she was like, dang, I'm going to do this, right? And so that space of like personal growth of like, I'm going to like get my health in check so that I can be a healthier person, which will make me a healthier leader. Huge. And a story I just heard of recently, we had someone come through and she decided to change jobs. And saw her recently. I'm like, how's it going? Like, oh, so excited to hear that you're, working for this new company. And she's like, I never would have made that change had I not gone through Leadership Greater Kalamazoo. Because her whole life, she had heard little tiny pieces. The message was, you're not a leader, right? Nothing huge where someone was like, you'll never lead. But, enough comments that she really felt like she wasn't a leader. And that's just not true, right? And so Leadership Greater Kalamazoo kind of brought that out in her of like, you are a leader. How you lead is unique. And whether people appreciate that or not is irrelevant, because how you lead is how you lead. And we want you to be a good leader. We want you to lead well from your new uniqueness, but some people don't maybe appreciate the way other people lead. And she was like, and now I get to like be in this space and thriving, and like she's part of the team, really like integrated, and there was nothing that Carla and I did. I feel like Leadership Greater Kalamazoo gives you the space to figure out what you already know, but that you don't get the time to carve that out. And so we help carve that out. And she is a leader. She's an incredible leader. And now she gets to do that in a space that feels healthy, which is really cool.
That's awesome. What has motivated you in your career, especially focusing on leadership development and workforce growth and economic development? No, I'm just kidding. Because Southwest Michigan first.
Do it all. What motivates me? I had a conversation with someone recently, and they were like, yeah, the people are like the reason why. I was like, people are always the reason why. Don't let anybody tell you any different ever. Like, people over everything, in my opinion, and in my true opinion. That I think that's the motivation, is like, how do we help people feel good in the spaces that they're in? Like, feel like, I can be a good leader. I can be good at my job. if I put in the work, I can get there,
Mm-hmm.
right? Not taking away the process. That's really important. There's no overnight successes. That's just like not a thing. A lot of the people that we really, really admire have so much failure in their life. And so it's really getting to that space. I feel motivated by people knowing like you can get there. You might not feel like you're there yet. Nobody feels like they're there yet, but you can get there. Like, shoot, I feel like if we had someone who was in our corner encouraging us, we could just really accomplish so much, like so much. I want to be that person for people.
This is good stuff. I know after I did Leadership Kalamazoo or Leadership Greater Kalamazoo, I started thinking about more ways to grow. And like, yeah, I was like working on my master's, taking classes, but like it kind of changed it. Like every time there was an opportunity to learn something about like how to be a leader, like I took ethical leadership class, and I feel like because I had that background of Leadership Greater Kalamazoo and seeing how other people did it, it kind of made me go, okay, but what's like, I need to dig deeper into this. And like we did this whole breakdown of like making a framework for your personal ethical leadership. And it was, what are your guiding values? What are your, like, it's basically how you would respond to any and every situation. And you go back to this, like keep this on your desk or something, so you always have that. And it is even, okay, what's someone you admire? Which like we did that in Leadership Greater Kalamazoo. And then it was, okay, who did they admire? How, like, who were their role models? Like, so you're getting like history, you know, of leaders who looked at other leaders and what did they take from them? What are you going to take from this person? And then put it all together and say, okay, this is how you are going to lead. And we, like you said, we had 47 other people to learn from. We had the leaders, you and Carla. We had all the different people you brought in to learn from. It was a lot. And it was, what, 8 months? 10?
Yeah.
10 months. And then even just learning about the community and everything else, it's just like, there's stuff I was like, I didn't know this was in Kalamazoo. I had no idea. I didn't know why these places pop up in Kalamazoo. It's like, oh, Southwest Michigan First does economic development. Yeah, shout outs to Southwest Michigan First.
What up?
But if I hadn't done this, I would have been like, oh, I don't know. It's just a business there, and I don't know what they do.
Totally. Yeah.
But it definitely inspired like my wanting to learn every aspect of things and that like continuous learning. So shout outs to you guys.
Oh, thank you. We love that. You know, we always say a leader is their best leader when they're plugged into their community. It's hard to lead like your house when you don't know what's happening in your backyard, right? And so we think about that, you know, it's important to know who's doing the work around you. It's important to know, are my opinions about these things correct? Let's go figure it out, right? And it's okay if your opinions are correct, right? But let's at least do the work to ask that question.
All right. If you could change one thing about the Greater Kalamazoo community, what would it be?
I grew up in the Thumb, in a small like farming community. Like,
just so people know, the
Michigan Thumb. Yep. Up by Frankenmuth. And everybody knew their neighbor. Sorry,
is that where they have that Christmas village place? Okay.
They start advertising for that in like Tennessee. They're like just ahead on 75. We're like states away. Like hours and hours. But yes, Bronners.
Okay. Sorry. My wife has said she wants to go there.
Oh my gosh, yeah. They have a festival every weekend. It's so wonderful. They were our rivals in high school, so like, which obviously doesn't matter to me now, but whenever someone says like, oh, I love Frankenmuth, I'm like, and I'm like, no wait, I do too. Now. But there's like that piece of me, right? So yeah, I grew up in the Thumb. There was 1,000 people in my hometown. Everybody knew everybody. And then I moved to Ann Arbor It's like less of that, you know, people are doing their thing. And then I moved over here and it felt like people knew each other more. It was like back to that like small town feel, which I loved. I just feel like it was so easy to get connected here and plugged in here and know the community here. Obviously, given my role, it was easier. I had like a little catalyst happening, but catalyst, what up? And then, but then, you know, there's a space too where I feel like Kalamazoo, the greater Kalamazoo area, if there's something that you care about, there is a nonprofit working on that, right? Like just like the giving heart of Kalamazoo is just really there and active. And I feel like sometimes we like are siloed, right? So it's like this person's working on this person's working on this. Okay, you guys are working on the same thing. Maybe you should work together. And I've recently heard this conversation of like collaboration versus partnership. Collaboration is like you work together, you both put your logo on the poster afterwards. A partnership is like you're really working on it together and you don't care whose logo goes on the poster afterwards. How do we get to that? Like true partnership where it's like we are not like fist bumping as we work on this. We're like holding each other's hands as we work on this. That's vulnerable. Yeah. That's like a hard place to get to. And there's like limited resources, there's limited time, you know, it is easier to collaborate. But I can like really dream and like envision like true partnership happening, and it's like really, really exciting.
That's good stuff. It's funny how easy it could like go from partnership to we don't really mess with them. Just like, I don't know, for example, and this isn't any diss to anybody, but like last year we did the You Make a Difference Awards, right, with KPS. And when it was posted, it said KPS hosts You Make a Difference Awards. Didn't have our name on it. And we could have been like, oh, you know what? We're going to yada, 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 you know. But that's how easily that like partnerships can just end over like an ego thing. But luckily we did another one like last week. So so I think we're okay. But it's definitely just one of those, it's as simple as like some recognition, you know, it like appreciating, being grateful, like we can do this together. The focus, if we really care about, is the kids or, you know, whatever.
What's your mission?
Yeah.
Are you focusing on that?
Not, it was our name on it. Was our logo on it. They put our logo, but then they put a different name. We were.
That was our logo last year. We changed our colors this year. You put a new logo on it. It's like, oh, that was just like, we didn't know, you know? And like you said too, like that's not a diss to any, like, I think our companies are doing really, really great work. And I think if we took the second to be like, who should we be partnering with on this work? Who's already doing this work? It's okay that you got the grant and we didn't. How do we help you like, you know, do that work? Or whatever that looks like.
Where do you see the future of Leadership Greater Kalamazoo heading? And part 2, what changes or innovations do you envision for the program?
It's a great question. You know, Leadership Greater Kalamazoo keeps growing and growing and growing. This year we were like, no, we're only having a class of 40. You know, 48 I think is the highest you can go for a class, but it's a lot of people. And it might feel like you didn't get to connect with everyone in the class. So this year, you know, we're only doing 40. Well, you get 75 applicants. Okay, well, we're doing 48 again, right? Like, worst day of my year, work-wise, always, is the day I have to say no to amazing people who applied to the program. I mean, like, 75 applicants, that doesn't mean that 35 of those were duds. Like, 35 of them were really awesome. And I'm like, please, 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 please apply again next year. And I mean that, right? Like, I really want you in the program. And so it's, you know, there's something there with the growth of it and the demand of it. We've thrown out so many options, right? Do you run 2 classes consecutively? Maybe. Do you start
competition during it?
We were class 2026A. We're the best. Do you spread it out in the region? Do more cohorts? Do you know, there's so many options. Where it's going to go to, to be determined.
Mm-hmm.
But we do see the growth in it and the demand in it, and for like good reason.
Mm-hmm.
It's an amazing program. And credit to the people who came before me, who like, you know, laid a great foundation.
Mm-hmm.
Someone said we just did our day with public safety.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, man, this takes so much planning. And I'm like, it does take so much planning. And a lot of it happened years ago when the leader before me, Gretchen, the leader before Carla and I, Gretchen, did the work to set that up, right? And the leaders before her and the leaders before them, right? And it's just like, there's like this group, you know, Judy Moore started this program in 1987.
Wow.
And it's still going.
Wow.
That's like a commitment and deep value to leadership programming, right? And so it's, I mean, I'm sure Judy looks at it now and is like, whoa, that's really cool, right? And I'm sure in 20 years, I'll look at the program and say, whoa, that's really cool. What can we add? What needs to be taken away? We're always looking at our list of things like, okay, is this topic still relevant? Every year it shifts a little bit. We update, we upgrade. Okay, this isn't as relevant anymore. You know, you think of a topic like wellness in the workplace. So important. It's so important to be aware of your wellness in the workplace. And that was like top of mind 2021, 2022, when we were blurring the lines between work-life balance because we were at home and you get an email at 8 o'clock at night and it's like, well, what, am I done working? Because I'm still sitting in the same spot. So that was a hot topic then. Is it still now? It's really important, but is it something that we're still teaching? I don't, you know, so those are things that we're constantly looking at. So it's always updating and upgrading, but where does it go?
Yeah.
I'm excited to see.
Me too. It's a two-part. If you had access to the Kalamazoo Promise and early in your career, Leadership Kalamazoo, Leadership Greater Kalamazoo, I keep messing it up, how might it have influenced your path?
Oh my gosh. First of all, the promise. Like, goodness gracious. My mom is always like, you should move back here. We like miss you. I like love my parents so much. They were so amazing. And I'm like, love you too. Not leaving Kalamazoo. Like my kids will go through KPS. They will have a great time. And then they will go to school for free. And I cannot wait. Like I cannot wait. We're always telling our friends who like live on the outskirts, we're like, there's a house for sale in our neighborhood. Don't you want free college? Like, are you not going to take advantage of that? That's crazy. And you know, so yeah, if I had had the promise, gosh, a lot of my young money would not have been spent on loans, which would have been really great. I could have bought a house faster. I could have done all the things that I needed to do in that time. And then, you know, getting a network too. I think that it's hard because, you know, I did that big switch in career where you're positive you're going to be in medicine somewhere and then you're not. Having a network around me of 47-ish other individuals that can help brainstorm that space and even just like friendship. I feel like young in your career, like that's like a weird thing to figure out. Like in college, everybody's the same age as you. So you're just like naturally friends. In school, you go through people, you know, but that like early 20s, early 30s, that's like a hard place to like meet people. It's a weird place. You know, I'm always telling people, I'm like, how are your friendships? And they're like, oh yeah, they're fine. I'm like, oh, so you have no friends, right? Like, and it's like, that's a natural part of being a young adult is like, how do you make friends? I think that would have been really helpful to like go through a program where it's like, okay, these people might not be the same age as me, but we're all thinking about life in a growth mindset. These are people I want to be around, right? I have friends who are not even close to the same age as me, right? And that's like my neighbor. I always like think of her. She's like in her 70s. I was like, how are you doing? Like, she's like my friend, right? And I think as you get into that like adulthood too, you start to realize that of like, all my friends don't have to be the same age as me and doing the exact same thing as me in the same space as me. And just like, I think broadens your horizons.
Yeah. It's just like, what are the common ties that we have? Is
Totally.
it kids? Is it work? Is it interests? Like, what is it? You know? It's just funny. Like finding friendships or friendships that develop because like our kids are the same age and we have play dates, but like, We might not be anything like each other.
Totally.
But our kids get along. Mm-hmm. So we got to make this work.
Yep. Yep. We have to hang out at the park.
Yep. What golden nugget of wisdom would you share with someone aspiring to make an impact in leadership or workforce development or economic development or anything else that Southwest Michigan First does? Because it's so much.
So many things. So many great things. I'm biased, but I really believe that.
Mm-hmm.
I think I think the best thing that you could do, it's coming out of my mouth, is like embrace your uniqueness. I feel like so much in this world, uniqueness is like, if you're a circle, people are like, oh, stay on those edges, you got to be a square. Don't let it happen. You have to believe that you are uniquely made and you are unique in the way that you move through the world. And that is your superpower. Whatever that is, we need who you are. And so I think embracing that, right? Like, I lead with levity. I cry often. And I just want to encourage everyone around me. Mm-hmm. And I think that sometimes that's hard for some other people in the room. But I got to keep doing that because that's who I am, right? Mm-hmm. I'm here to make peace. And I got to do that in the way that I do that uniquely. And that's true for every single person on this earth. I deeply, deeply believe that.
Mm. So I think one of my key things is I'm very transparent. I just Googled what levity was because so humor or frivolity, especially the treatment of a serious matter with humor or in a matter lacking due respect.
I'm always respectful.
Okay.
Let's sprinkle some respect on that levity.
Yeah. Okay. But no, that's awesome. Mm-hmm. I really like that. I'm taking notes while you're doing this because, want to be a great leader and all that. How can individuals or organizations get involved with Leadership Greater Kalamazoo or Southwest Michigan First to support?
Oh, gosh, there's so many ways to get involved. So every fall, our application for Leadership Greater Kalamazoo opens. Apply. We would love to, interview you, talk to you about the program, have you in the program. We do a lot of other programming, too. So, like, right now, our applications are open for First 50, which is a mentor-based program, which is just really unique. It is, I say unique so much. Everything can't be unique, right? No, I think it is. But it's this, we do some tried and true leadership topics, but then you're paired with a mentor to help you move through this season of where you're at. Mm-hmm. That's cool. Mm-hmm. Like, how awesome would it be to have, like, a mentor who is, like, a proven leader in your area? Gosh, that'd be awesome. I got that, right? Like, I get to talk to some really awesome people. So that's open. If you're a young professional, we have First Up, which I think is very valuable. Again, moving through that space with people who are, in the same mindset as you. Mm-hmm. And then that one, it is the same age as you, which is really cool for a range, in a range. And then the chamber is doing amazing work with Southwest Michigan First. I mean, they are having tons of events, and they're not just like networking events where you go and you talk to someone, you exchange business cards. Like, great, that is valuable, but it's real personal relationship connection. The chamber strives to be the first connection point for people. If you have a problem, we want you to call us because we want to help you figure out how to solve that. It might not be us, but we probably know who it is. So, like, help us be that connection bridge. You can invest in the work we're doing. We're a nonprofit, and so we run off, people being really generous and believing in the work that we do. And gosh, sometimes I feel choked up about the people who are like, no, we believe in what you're doing. Like, here's money. That's wild. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you guys feel the same way, right? Like, you guys,
I feel like,
you get money from
I'm
people. I'm
here because of somebody's generosity and somebody's belief in me. And I get it.
Oh, belief is your number one.
I know, right?
That's lovely. So yeah, I mean, shoot, if you want to talk to me about getting involved in Southwest Michigan First, I will have so many ways, and probably one that fits you best, right? How do we get you plugged in to where it makes sense for you? There's like a couple of times where I'm like, I want to get involved in that organization. It's like, because I like what you're doing, but it doesn't really make sense for me to. But there probably is a space there where I could. Can I volunteer? Can I give money? Can I give leftover diapers, right? Like, we got a lot of diapers in our house. Can help you there. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of ways to get connected to Southwest Michigan First, and I would happily help you get connected in the space that makes sense.
Nice. Do you have any questions for us? And I say us because I can make, another person get on the microphone too.
Okay. I would love to hear like your favorite impact story from the Promise.
Oh gosh. There are a bunch, but like specifically just like when somebody comes to us and just like, I'm trying to figure out my promise. Like, can I still use it? And then to go from like a random encounter at like a community event and somebody's like, man, what's going on with that? At the time said MF and promise, y'all need to give me my promise. And then to fast forward like years and then like they're walking with their degree and like they're connected with like organizations and stuff and seeing like what they're doing now and like their mentoring or, doing different stuff like that. That is really exciting. Seeing people who have like parents who are figuring out their promise and still being able to go to school, finding a trade, seeing students with their kids in here, and just, I mean, we have like a pack and play tucked away just, in case somebody needs it. And it's been used. So it's stuff like that. When I see that, because I think of like when I was trying to go to school and how hard it was having a kid and co-parenting and like feeling like I was older than everybody who was there and just like, I didn't feel connected at all. And then eventually like found community and everything. But when I see that, I'm like, okay, what we're doing matters. And it kind of like gets me, right here. So yeah. Does that answer your question?
Perfect. At my last, couple jobs ago, actually, there was a guy there that always talked about winning the lottery. He's like, man, I wish I could just win the lottery. If I would just win the lottery, I could do, all these things. And finally, one of our coworkers was like, you did win the lottery. You graduated from a Kalamazoo public school. You can go to any secondary thing that you would want to go to for free. That's winning the lottery. He was just like, if I had that, I can't even imagine what I would have done. And so I think about that a lot, and I'm excited for my kids to win the lottery in years.
Right.
Years from now. But it really is winning the lottery. I would take $100,000.
I mean, depends on where you go. It could be, I think there's a family we gave like $500,000 to.
Yeah.
Because all their kids went to like, I don't know, U of M or something. So.
One of my roommates in college. It was the first time I'd ever heard about Kalamazoo. I was like, gosh, isn't it crazy that we're going to graduate with so much debt? And she was like, actually, I'm from Kalamazoo. And I was like, first of all, what does that even mean? Where is that? Right. And what are you talking about? For her to be like, yeah, I'm actually going here for free.
That's nice.
Yeah, I'm like,
must be nice.
Must be nice. And then, just a couple years later, my fiance at the time being like, you want to move to Kalamazoo? Like, is that the place with the free college?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
That's awesome. Do you have any other questions?
What was your favorite leadership Greater Kalamazoo memory?
Oh, gosh. That's tough.
Because there's so many.
Yes. And you asked us that, like, I think in the last session, and I was conflicted then. I want to say, like, the sharing circle, where we all brought one thing from, like, our family. Or it's not our family, but something that, I forgot what the prompt was, but it was, like, something that matters to us. And I had to go first, because otherwise I was going to, like, cry during it.
Oh, yeah. Everybody's weeping.
Yeah. It wasn't even the time to say who was first. I was like, I'll go first.
Like, okay, wait, we're going to do instructions first.
I get it, but no, I would have gone. I think that really, I don't know, kind of clicked something where, like, I felt connected to these people because like it was everybody shared something that was personal, and it wasn't, you know, just like, oh, I like this book. It was like something deep, like that you want to just tell a coworker. And I was like, okay, this is cool. And like seeing the connections of, okay, you like, even from the things that people brought to the emotions that it brought up to the family stuff it brought up to like, it brought up so many different things. And I was like, okay, these people aren't so different. We have things in common. Like I'm not like imposter syndrome. Like I do belong here. There are people like me here. I think that was probably my favorite.
Huge. Shout out to Marcy Peak for her cultural sharing circles.
Yeah, she
does an excellent job at that.
Yeah, they're awesome. Oh yeah, you should do this one too.
Are we on?
Yeah,
okay.
It's a good radio voice.
I was just gonna say that. Like that is as someone who listens to the radio and calls into the radio, that's a nice voice.
Thank you. So I am in this year's Leadership Greater Kalamazoo Cohort 2025. Impending the best class ever. Pending.
Because we still got some months.
We still got some months. We're still pretty early. We just started, you know. I'd say my favorite memory so far was the public safety session that we just recently had. It was so much fun. I had a lot of fun. I went to county. What else?
Shot a taser.
I shot a taser.
Yeah, we didn't do. I didn't shoot a taser.
I got to fake pull somebody over. I got to drive the squad car. I got to be pulled over. I guess that's how you want to say it.
I got to be pulled over.
I got to be pulled over, and it was a simulation this time, so it wasn't the real thing. But no, I'd say overall, it definitely gave me another perspective about public safety. And having to really just like understand how much they have to go through to do their jobs. Like their day can literally start from as little as a traffic stop, and it can end with a homicide, or it can start with a homicide and it could end in a traffic stop, or you could have someone that's breaking and entering, and you could get a variety of calls literally any time of the day
at the same time,
and you have to go through days like that for years, and it's not easy. It's not easy. And so I appreciate the work that they do, because
that day is so eye-opening.
It is
just so eye-opening, and you know, like, so much mad respect to KDPS because they do it well. They care about doing it well, which is huge. Yeah, that's what you want.
That's what you want. That's what you want. But I'd say that's been my favorite memory. Also, just being in the cohort. I'm probably one of the youngest people in my cohort right now, so it was weird the first day. I was just like, am I supposed to be here? Because I'm seeing some of these people that I've known, you know, just growing up in Kalamazoo, but then it's like listening and where everybody's at, and it's like they're all in like leadership positions and stuff like that. But I'm like, wait a minute, so am I. So I think having to break down that imposter syndrome of like, am I supposed to be here? Whereas like, no, like, even though I'm one of the youngest people in here, we're all on the same level of wanting to know and wanting to be better leaders in whatever area that we're in. And I think just being in the class so far and getting to know all these people, it's like, okay, we're actually like, we're not that far in mindset when it comes to just wanting to have fun and just wanting to be open and just enjoy the experience. And so it's like, okay, the age thing doesn't even make much of a difference for me, because we're all learning. We're all being open to learn. We're all pretty much starting over in this sense of we're learning. And I like that.
That moment where age and status kind of melts away,
yes.
Right? And we've heard it from both ends where people have come and been like, dang it, I'm like older than everybody in this class. Like, what am I doing here? And then that they have that moment too where it's like, that didn't matter.
Yeah.
It's like a powerful thing. You don't realize it happens until you're halfway through, and it's like you're talking with someone who's years older than you about the same thing. So good.
Yeah. But, you know, so far, I'm enjoying it. I'm excited for all the other sessions we have to come. Just excited to learn.
Got some good ones.
Shout out to you.
And Carla.
And Carla. Yes, and Carla, of course.
Can't leave her out.
No,
Right.
of course not.
All right. So to close us out, I'm going to give a quote. True leadership isn't about titles or positions. It's about empowering others and creating a legacy that inspires lasting change.